Hello my friends, we have some good news coming from the front lines, and mostly those news are connected with the yesterday's counterattack performed by the 3rd Assault Regiment over here, and we have the map update. To check what happened we need to go back to yesterday, so it was like that in this region, and today it is like that. According to the Deep State map resource, we even gained more territory, and just now I have received the information that our guys are moving forward the second day. Wagners sent extra reinforcements to that area and they tried to stop our forces, but so far unsuccessfully. And we push also via two directions, one from the south to the northern part, trying to cut the Russian forces, and one more vector is going to Klishivka, which is very important village over here. If we take it under control, we also take this road that leads to Bakhmut, and by doing so we may cut Russians in that area or force them to run from their positions. Potentially we can move towards Opetne, and by doing so we may try to encircle the Bakhmut city. However, to do so we need to advance from the northern part as well, from this side or from this side. In that case, we may create the disastrous situation for the Russian forces in Bakhmut, so if they see us taking Klishivka and coming closer to Opetne, they may start to withdraw their forces from the Bakhmut city. Otherwise, there's the huge risk of encirclement of the Wagner forces, because they are losing their resources in Bakhmut, and as you can see, the regular Russian army is now being used to help the Wagner forces, but obviously they fight much worse compared to the Wagner army. The popular blogger already Prigozhin have recorded one more video today. He said that there is the great risk, the serious risk of encirclement of the Wagner forces in the Bakhmut city as the result of the failure of the flanks that should have been protected by the Russian regular army forces. And we are speaking about the place where Russia has the huge advantage, the Bakhmut city. They are taking the city itself, but still the situation there for them is also critical. Prigozhin said that the idea to perform the assault on the Bakhmut city from the Wagner forces was to concentrate the Ukrainian forces in one place and cause them severe losses, but now he says that the situation turns upside down for Wagner and now they have severe losses compared to Ukrainian side. But we know that it was the case even before, and the only way how they could take the ground is to use the prisoners from the Russian prisons. So they were just throwing those waves of the prisoners to take the positions of Ukrainian armed forces, and now they're out of those prisoners, and that is why they're struggling dealing with just single district in the Bakhmut city. However, today they moved a little inside the city. It was before, and they've took this part over here, and they also moved towards the Hromova village over here as well, but it's not that critical right now for Ukrainian forces. Still, we need to control the crossroads over here, but we just control one district, so in any moment, in a few hours, we may leave our positions if there is the risk of taking them by the Wagner forces. For example, if they go closer to Kromove over here, we'll just release our forces from those positions and evacuate as soon as possible, so the trap will close for the Wagner forces and we may take them from the flanks. At least it's one of the scenarios. We are waiting for the new videos released about the continuation of the Ukrainian counterattack in that area, but it's not the big expected counterattack. It will be very soon. We're gonna speak about it also in this video, but firstly let me tell you about the partner of my channel and also the sponsor of mine, the Atlas VPN. They recently came out with a great deal for my subscribers and followers, so right now you may get the Atlas VPN Premium for just $170 a month. It's extremely low price for this product. I also received the integration request proposals from the other VPN services, but I don't want to work with them because I'm pretty much satisfied with the Atlas VPN. I think it's the best out there. First of all, I do care about my security because Atlas VPN has a special design data breach monitoring system. If I have the Atlas VPN warning, then someone tries to reach my device, I switch off the public Wi-Fi. Also, Atlas VPN uses the military standard protocols to secure your data, and they put firewalls to the government control annoying ads and hackers. Then I have some free time, I would like to watch my favorite series on the Netflix platform. So not only Atlas VPN gives me the permission to access any kind of series in my country which are blocked or not blocked, but it gives me fantastic streaming speed. Basically, there are no any changes in that parameter, whether Atlas VPN on or off. My friends, it was a game changer for me because before I tried many VPNs and this one is the fastest. So my friends, just follow my link below where you can get the Atlas VPN Premium for just $170 per month. Plus, you'll have 6 months for free and totally it's 85% of discount. It's the lowest price on the market right now. And it's valid just for my followers and viewers of my channel. This proposal is time limited, so I highly recommend you to hurry up and join the club. And we also got the update on the tactical map. So here you can see the vector of the Ukrainian counterattack. Also, you see the vectors of the attack of the Russian forces, 72nd Brigade, but I guess there are no more arrows in that case. They're moving their forces to prevent the further advancement of the Ukrainian army. And Wagners also moved to this area because 72nd Brigade was demolished. Still, they have some of the forces in that area, but they're unable to withstand the counterattack of Ukrainian army. Basically, that is why Wagners were forced to move there. The positions were already taken by Ukrainian army. So by the time they arrived to positions, there were no place to hide because the trenches were taken already by Ukrainian forces. And that's why Wagners also had severe losses. And Prigozhin yesterday was mad about this case. He even swore towards Putin. He says that the grandpa is dreaming or he's just a... So it is getting interesting day by day, and in the future we'll see whether Prigozhin will be accused of the betrayal of his own kind, the Russian Federation, and there could be the fight in that case between the regular Russian forces and Prigozhin. Obviously, he will not go to prison. Also, I want to say why am I quite positive about taking Klishivka and moving further, because Russians were not able to build the huge defense lines in that area. They're using the Ukrainian built defense lines as well, the trenches, but they need to go down to the ground to defense, and they cannot afford it because now they are still on offensive mission taking the Bakhmut city, and it will take lots of the supplies, engineering equipment, and we know that Wagner is in lack of any kind of the equipment nowadays provided by the Russian Federation. Well, they still have some sort of the tanks and even airplanes, but for most of the vehicles they should conduct the maintenance actions themselves. So it's been a while since we saw the Wagner airplanes like Sukhoi Su-25 flying in that area. So we'll see what happens tomorrow, but this counterattack of Ukraine is a very good sign. By the way, this is the city, so Wagner's attack this part mostly from two vectors could be successful, and also they're moving from the north towards Hromovo, taking some part of the territory, but still we're controlling this part, which is crucial for our supplies. About Avdiivka, there are no any changes. Russia just bogged down, and we have the update in Dnipro over here near to Kherson. Kherson is very close, so Ukraine advanced with their forces on this island. So before it was like that, and we are pushing Russians away from this place, probably preparing the territory for the possible counteroffensive operation. We saw the map that was published by the Spanish reporters. It's just based on the expert opinion that Ukraine will also try to counterattack from the Kherson region. That fits also the Russian expectations, at least from their experts, that Ukraine will be able to cross the Dnieper River with lots of the boats, amphibious, and many more. But I guess not over here where Antonovsky Bridge was destroyed. I think that will go to Nova Kakhovka or something like that, because here the dam is more or less okay. So to build a bridge is less harder over here compared to Antonovka. Today we have the confirmation from our General Commander Syrsky that our guys were capable to take the ground. Yes, we knew it even yesterday. But as I said to you, this action still continues and Ukraine takes more ground day by day. By the way, more videos available, but I cannot publish them here. So for that, please go to my Telegram channel that you may find in the video description just below. Occupiers announced more evacuation from the south part of Ukraine. This time they evacuate the personnel of the nuclear power plant. Plus they cancel and close all of the transactions into the occupation administrations of that region. They did the same stuff just before leaving the Kherson. So we definitely have the very interesting signs out there. You ask me in the comments sometimes of when Ukraine will perform the counteroffensive action. Well, this is the screenshot from my phone, and from what our officials saying that it is mostly the question of whether, well, the end of this week and the beginning of the next one is more or less fine. I think that it still could be rainy out here, and on the Friday we see that there should be no clouds. This forecast for 2 days is more or less precise. Based on my own experience as an airline pilot, it's very hard to predict the weather more than 3 days ahead. But for sure we have the close perspective for Friday, and if Saturday will be not rainy, maybe the soil will be good for the counteroffensive. Anyways, as I say to you on April, I predict the counterattack to start till 15th of May. The same said also Prigozhin, because afterwards we may have some of the convection cumulus clouds, the weather will change to the summer one, and there could be more rains at the end of the May, and that weather is hard to predict. So my opinion, this time is the best one if you want to start the counteroffensive in May. But obviously our general command knows better, and we have one more clue that the counterattack may start at any day very soon, because it's the first time that General Zaluzhny refused to participate in the meeting of NATO military committee with lots of the representatives and generals. He said that he is very busy with the situation in Ukraine, and he said that he has no time even for the Zoom meeting conference. It means that our generals work very hard on the future counteroffensive plan. Plus, for the second day consecutive, I see more surveillance airplanes close to the Black Sea, and today one more surveillance airplane was in the Polish airspace. So they're gathering data from the Russian positions in Kherson area, in Zaporizhia. They are collecting information about the Russian air defense systems, their radars, and they map that and provide this information to Ukrainian General Command. This job is very important and our allies help us a lot. But still there will be no ATACMS rockets provided to Ukraine by the United States of America, even though the United Kingdom now works to supply the Storm Shadow rockets to Ukraine. But never say never, now we have the Western-made tanks in Ukraine. Soon there's gonna be Abrams tanks as well, and afterwards ATACMS. I'm sure about it. Plus, there will be fighter jets like F-16s, and the talk continues between the UK and Netherlands and Denmark and other countries of what fighter jets to provide to Ukraine. I guess the political decision has been already taken, and it's just a matter of time then those airplanes will be in the Ukrainian Air Force. I guess we're gonna start the counteroffensive without them. President Zelensky said about it, but in further future advancements of the Ukrainian army at the end of this year, the next year, there will be the fighter jets in Ukrainian army. This video shows the remains of the Kinzhal hypersonic missiles. It's been confirmed by everyone, also by the Russian side. Russians started to tell that it was the aviation bomb Betap 500 Shapé. But later on they corrected themselves, saying that really it was the Kinzhal rocket, because Betap 500 has different links of attachment. And they compared the Kinzhal that Ukraine shot down with the Kinzhal that was used for the tests. They are identical, so United States of America was correct in confirming that as well. And the mayor of Kiev, Klitschko, showed the part of the rocket today, the nose part, and there is the big hole. It is the signature of the Patriot rocket. This video was published by the commander of our air surveillance unit, Madar, and you may find this video fully on my Telegram channel. So this is the DJI Matrix, a very expensive drone. The drone itself costs around $10,000, and the combo mode with extra batteries with the remote control something around $17,000. It was hit today by our DJI Mavic, just the simple Mavic that costs a little bit more than $1,000. So here you can see clearly the big drone and the small drone just went into it. The picture lost, but we hit it. Later on it was confirmed that the Russian drone was completely destroyed, and on our small Mavic just the gimbal was crushed because of the collision. That's it. It's not the first time that one drone hits another during this conflict, but it's the first interesting video like that. They hit this drone from the third attempt, and luckily it stayed on the one place all of the time. Oh, we have this map published by the European journalists based on some experts, so probable direction or possible direction of the Ukrainian counterattack that may start at any time. As I see it, as I predicted it myself, it is only possible on the south. I've took the wrong color, but anyways, it should be on the south. At least it's the most profitable direction for the future counterattack. In that case, we may cut Russian forces in two, and there will be no supplies coming from Crimea or to Crimea from this side. And also we may cut Crimea itself. It could be done simultaneously from Kherson region over here or over here. But this place is very difficult since you need to cross the Dnieper river. The second direction could be from Kupiansk on the north, and here for sure it will be successful. There are not many cities, not many villages, just open fields mostly, and Ukrainian forces may go to Luhansk in that case, and also advance from Crimea and also advance over here. Will not assault towards the Bakhmut city because Russia still has the main group of their forces in that region. It is the suicide mission, but for the small win, like for example encircling the Wagner forces, why not? Today Putin signed the order of conscription for military training of citizens who are in reserve, and most of the Russian men are in reserve because the service in the Russian army is mandatory for every man who has no troubles with the health. So we expect more people coming to the Russian army for the training, and they will stay there because Russia will close them in the Russian army. That's it. They have no rights. Again, I saw the very interesting video today. I shared it on my Telegram channel, by the way. The video was about how Russian soldiers surrendered to the drone. So our guys went on the front lines and they flown the drone bomber over there, so they bombed the Russian positions. And one of the Russians just prayed, do not drop the bombs on me, I will surrender, I will not fight. He dropped his weaponry and he just begged for his life. And Ukrainian soldiers decided, okay, in case you want to surrender, we'll drop you this letter. Surrender and follow the drone. So they dropped this letter and the Russian soldiers read it, and he showed that he is unable to surrender because Russians will start to fire mortars on him and also will use the rifles from other positions to stop him. Nevertheless, that Russian soldier had no other choice but to follow that drone. And definitely Russians start to fire mortars on him, and he was lucky to reach the Ukrainian positions. Why it's important for Ukraine to take the prisoners? Because we need them for exchange for our prisoners, and also it's better to be humans. Because we fight for the good values, and yes, there are the cases that even Ukrainian soldiers behave differently. It's war and there's lots of the anger. There could be Ukrainian soldiers who lost their families, their kids because of the Russian rocket attacks, and you'll not stop them from their revenge, let's say. That is why it's better to stop it as soon as possible, but the only way to do it is to take the Russian forces out from Ukraine. Unfortunately, they do not want to leave themselves, so that is why Ukraine have to push them away with a new counterattack. And there will be more counterattacks in the future. Also, unfortunately, because for every counterattack, the price will increase, and the price is not the money, the price is what we pay as Ukrainians with our lives. That is a big tragedy of Ukraine. And then I see our guys are doing this goodwill towards the enemy. It rises the spirit somehow also that we are still humans. But it was the adequate response towards that particular Russian soldier who decided to give up his fighting. His war is over. And there is one more video I published today how Russian soldiers decided not to give up, and he fired towards the drone, and finally well, the story ended not good for that one. Ukraine wants to order 450 medical armored vehicles from Brazil. But Brazil says that they are quite a neutral country, so they want the guarantees from Ukraine that those vehicles will not be used for the fighting purposes and just for evacuation of the injured or wounded, it's better to say, personnel. Well, I guess it's better to leave the turrets on those vehicles because, well, just to protect our guys who got wounds, and also they look much better with those guns. The Czech Republic will give Ukraine the air defense systems KUB, and those are very effective short and up to middle range systems. My friends, I'm gonna keep you updated on situation in Ukraine. Hope for the more better news tomorrow. Now press the like to this video, and also don't forget to check my personal link where you can get the Atlas VPN Premium for just $170 per month, and it's just the best offer on the market. The deal is time limited, so hurry up to join the club. Now I wish you a peaceful sky as usual wherever you are, and have a great time.